I think as consumers are better educated on what they will be eating are eating or will be eating or should be eating, the demand for this product will grow. In my mind, if I were a consumer buying product in Wegmans, for instance, I would not hesitate to reach for the 100% grass-fed products. Should the consumer pay more and want to pay more, they will actually get what they are paying for. And not only that, the benefits to the environment are just so great.
Well, I think for the most part what we're going to see here in the Northeast as far as grazing dairies go is, slightly warmer, possibly slightly wetter, both of those which would be good for us from a grazing point of view.
I think that the Midwest and the Northeast are probably some of the better places to be dairying and deal with the effects of climate change. How the dairy industry changes. Well, I mean, it's going to change 5 years later than it needed to.
There's a substantial amount of our milk has been produced in the western states under irrigation. The need for water to sustain those types of dairies is so great that it just seems like there will be it's not going to work for them, and that will impact the industry greatly, because the need for dairy proteins will still be there. I see dairy moving back into the eastern states or into the rain belts again. In my mind, if all the costs were accounted for, there is no more efficient way to farm than what we are doing. But unfortunately, nobody accounts for bringing all the fossil fuels into play, and more than likely we'll be using all of the world's reserves, or too much of the world's reserves of fossil fuels in our madness for high production.
The drawbacks is lower production. It's very much, it isn't buy and apply. You have to be thinking all the time. Every day is a judgment call on exactly how you're going to do things. You're not just following a formula.
You have 3 wet years and then you have 3 dry years. Do you know what's going to happen in the 7th year? It's another year. We don't really know what's going to happen. It's you have to adapt to it each year. You can't afford to adapt to it each year.
The big worry is always water, because water ultimately drives everything. And I know going forward that's what we look for. Should at some point be thinking about whether putting in another well or somehow or other finding a second water source for our cows. Because
even just as a backup, even if you never use it, it's a good insurance policy.
Because you don't want to be drilling a well 2 days after you run out of water. That's just, I think a cow drinks a bathtub of water a day. That's a lot of water. You need it before you need it.
Obviously, if we were to be down at 1, 2, 3% organic matter like many of our crop farms are, then it would be a far greater concern, because there's no carrying capacity, there's no resiliency there, there's no little water holding capacity there to go into a drought. And not only that, when the heavy rains do come, there's nothing there to stop it, and it'll run or erode too much of the soil away from the farm.
Or at least we try to make the decisions that are sustainable on sort of a multifaceted sustainability approach. Financially or economically sustainable, socially sustainable, and environmentally sustainable.
And if they don't hit those three goals, we think very, very hard about what we're doing and probably choose something